Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the technical difficulties here, if there are any. I don't even know if I'm live. I can't tell if it's working. Is it working? Can anybody let me know if I'm live right now? Okay, I am live. Working? Can anybody let me know if I'm live right now? Okay, perfect. And let's send this to Mansoor. Hey, everyone. Um, we're we're live right now because of a really dire situation that's taking place in the Middle East, and we are. And when I say we, sorry, my phone is not charging my phone properly. When I say we, I mean uh, Israel advocates, lovers of the Druze people, Israelis, Jews, Muslims who are watching in horror right now at what's unfolding. Um, and we're just, I, you know, this happened a few months ago when I was in Miami. I didn't know how to process it then. It felt a lot like October 7th because for people who don't know, the Druze to us in Israel are so important, so important. And God, this charger is killing me, man. It's just it's god awful seeing what's happening right now. I think there was like hope in the last couple weeks, days that a normalization plan with Syria could be on the horizon, but I'm seeing the videos coming out right now, and it's just horrible. It's just absolutely disgusting. I don't know if I should even describe in graphic detail what I've been seeing. Um, it's it's just horrible. In it literally looks like we're seeing October 7th unfolding in front of our very eyes, and I really don't know how to process it. You know, the Druze, for many Israelis, the Druze mean the world. They are and this is the Druze worldwide. It's the Druze in Lebanon, it's the Druze in Syria, it's the Druze in Israel. We appreciate them so much. We love them so much. They are such incredible members of our nation, members of the Middle East, and they're so oppressed by the people around them. And these people are strong people, by the way. These are people who can defend themselves like no other, but they're being forced to fight an unfair fight that keeps springing upon them. Um, in October, a la October 7th style terrorist attacks, and it's over and over and over again. And I don't know when we, as a community, when do we say enough is enough? I mean, I said enough was enough in, I think it was March when this flared up. Um, but there's just it's the brutality and the hatred. It's very much akin to what you see done, what was done on October 7th. It's it's strikingly similar. Like it's strikingly similar. It's almost exactly the same. And I'm bringing on right now a dear friend of mine. um this is, if you guys don't know who he is, this is Mansour Ashkar. He's a Druze from Israel. He's an incredible advocate for Israel, for the Druze people. I love him dearly. He's my brother. And I think we need to hear from you specifically what's going on. If you can give us an update, just in some brief words.
Brother. I love you more. Thank you so much for inviting me for your channel and giving me the platform here. You're among the only ones so far that actually came forward and tried to help us amplify our voice in the last episode of my live. I was there with Rebecca, she came as well. And I came and I said, I'm going to use my channel, my voice right now as much as I can to give a voice to the voiceless people in Syria. CNN is not covering it, mainstream media is ignoring it. Literally, it's insane. There's an ethnical cleansing on steroids that is happening in Syria, Daesh style, Hamas style, ISIS style, Al Qaeda style, you name it. They're just all together. And the whole government of Syria is backing this up. So, should I start from the beginning and just kind of give people some? Yeah. So what happened? The Druze are about 1.5 million on planet Earth. It's a very small, tiny minority, very peaceful one. And the majority of them are living in Syria. And the majority in Syria are living in Sueda. That's the mountain of the Druze. And between it to Israel, there's no real connection. There's the Bedouin lands. Now, the Jolani government was told by Israel, stay away from southern of Damascus. You're not allowed to come south because they don't want all these jihadists and ISIS. These are Al Qaeda and ISIS. We don't want another October 7. And also hands off the Druze. So Jolani, who's been planning for a long time to cleanse Syria from any minority, from anyone who is not Sunnah, by the way, so even Muslims, but starting with the Alawites, the Christians, the Jews, they want to, completely erase them and take their land, steal their women and children. So they were sending their proxies, the Bedouins, who are living in the area of Daraa. Now, these Bedouins, to people to understand, when Israel was helping the people in Syria, when Assad was slaughtering them, Israel built a hospital for these Bedouins and were treating them. And the Druze were actually protecting them. They were getting out of their villages to rescue them when Assad regime was trying to murder them. And to repay the Druze for their kindness, what they did is they immediately jumped and decided to backstab and betray them. Same thing like we saw with the people of Gaza. The first one that they slaughtered were actually the Jews, the peaceful ones that were living around, and they killed them. The people that were, trying to send them aid and education for their kids and food, they were the first one that they went and slaughtered them. So these guys have been attacking the Druze and sieging on them. And the last attack that happened 3 days ago. There was a convoy of food trying to get to the Druze because they don't have the running out of food, running out of water, ammunition, electricity, everything. And they raided that convoy, kidnapped some people, took their food, took their money, and the Druze went to rescue that people that get kidnapped. So what they did, they spoke the language of the Arab men. They went and they kidnapped people from the same, kind of Bedouin tribe. They told them, give us back our guys, we'll give you back our guys. It worked. But what happened? The government used that chance to come and say, here, the Druze are terrorists, they're kidnapping our own people. And what they did is, with these jihadists affiliated with Al Qaeda flags, ISIS flags, driving alongside with them, driving all the tanks and artillery and Grad missiles. Who brings Grad rockets to fight a village in Syria? I mean, they came with intention to completely wipe them out. Now, they're trying to say that they're defending themselves. If the Druze would have invaded Damascus, I would say, yes, you're defending, but you're actually going to their home with tanks and heavy artillery and drones that were bought by Qatar, by the way, and started. They were afraid to go up the mountain because they knew what would happen when they go inside the Druze turf. When they go in their mountain, they're dead. So what they did, they started attacking these villages around on the flat land, luring the Druze to come and try to rescue the women and children and kidnapped, and then killing them in the open fields. The Druze don't stand a lot of chance against an army with weapons and sponsorship, Turkey and Qatar, heavy, equipment. So they're getting killed in the field, but they were losing these villages. So up until last night, they've lost about 5 to 6 Druze villages. And then Israel went and shot a few warning shots to stop it. Now, I'm so thankful for Israel, but again and again, they're proving that they don't understand the language of the Arab men. Why? Because by doing so, they ended up causing more damage. I have my own relatives who are fighting there. They're literally talking with me, what's up? Some of them are in their homes, protecting their families on the front line. They were telling me, Mansour, they're doing more harm than help. And I said, what do you mean? He says, when the fighter jets flew over the air, all these coward jihadists froze. Allah Akbar started running away. When a rocket went down, they panicked. They stopped fighting for about 3-4 hours. But then they looked around and said, like, nothing really happened. So they advanced a little bit more, took another village. Israel shot another rocket. I said, if Israel meant business, they would have came and attacked. Again, we think negotiation, they think weakness. So they used that as a way to say, Israel is not intervening. And then at night, when they said ceasefire, the classic Hudna, the same thing that they did with Hyber, Ya Yahud, ceasefire, they used the dawn to come with even more. And today in the morning, they entered El Sueda, that is the Druze capital. That's like entering Tel Aviv or Jerusalem with tanks, with heavy artillery, with drones, and started driving in the cities. They went into Khilwez, which is the Druze synagogues, call it that way, and started killing. We've seen these videos with bodies on the ground. They grabbed them, shaving. Yeah, and there's only one religion in the Middle East that take joy in desecrating the dead and humiliating the bodies of the enemies. You don't see the Jews doing that. You don't see the Druze doing that. You don't see the Christians doing that. Only the Muslims. They always come, and I'm talking the radical ones. I know I'm generalizing right now, but you know what? Let them defend themselves. I'm getting sick and tired of trying to defend the other side when they're not defending themselves. So they started doing October 7. And I woke up this morning to this October 7 flashback. Seeing not only that I'm seeing these images, I'm also contacting my relative, and he haven't answered me yet. So I don't know. I mean, yesterday he was telling me the shelling is coming closer and closer. I'm at home. My brother is in the front line. We have only one gun in the house. So he took the gun and he's out, but I'm here. And I told him, can you go to safety? He says, I have nowhere to go. My parents are elderly, my sister. And I said, what are you going to do? He says, we're going to fight until the end. If they come to my house, we will die fighting them. I haven't heard from him that yet. So I'm really hoping that he's safe. I've been sending him messages. I don't even see the tick mark. So I'm kind of my brain is going through all of this, and I'm a bit pissed because Israel could have and should have reacted earlier, not only for the sake of the Druze. There is a group of people on planet Earth you don't want them to have weapons, and that is the jihadists. That's one group you say, undoubtedly, I don't. So they're coming right now like idiots, and they don't know how to fight these guys. I was in special forces. I fought these guys many times. They don't know tactics. They behave literally like a horde of savages, like Muslims. They just run, smell blood, and run. They see women and children, they get exhilarated. They see weakness, they run at it. No tactics, no strategy. They're very easy target for a professional army. So Israel could have went right now and just wiped out all of their tanks, all of their artillery, and just send the message, send them running back with their tail between their legs. Stay away from the innocent people in the Middle East. Stay away from our border. But they waited. And what happened? And the fighting ended up happening in the villages. Some of the Druze, now this is going to be an interesting story because it's going to start with a down, but there is an up. Some of the Druze, seeing that feeling that they've been left alone and that Israel is not actually coming to help, decided to surrender. They saw running out of ammunition, weapons. I mean, they're going to slaughter us and kill our families. And they were telling them, surrender won't do anything to you. So some started surrendering and more started to surrender. And then the people of Hikmat al-Hijri, that's like the fighter sheikh of the three figures there. He's like the fighting one. They said, we're not surrendering. We're fighting till the end. And they brought the fight into their neighborhoods, into the streets. And they started, ambushing them and killing them and crushing them and losing a lot of forces. And in the heat, I'm getting emotional. In this madness and crazy, Israel came with the fighter jets. And right now, I mean, you guys are hearing it live, basically. Right now, we're getting reports from our brothers and sisters in Syria. They're crushing their tanks. They're blowing them up. And that gave such power to the Druze to know that they're not alone. And sorry, I'm getting emotional here.
Every time I talk to you about this topic, I get crushed on the inside. It's I'm seeing I saw right before we went on, I saw the videos of the HTS and the Khilwe. I'm going to describe in graphic detail because I think it's important for you guys to hear exactly what's going on. The Druze have a custom in their religion where they grow out their mustache after a certain age. Um, they were cutting, not shaving, they were using kitchen knives and cutting the top lip off of the human being while he's alive. Not, I want to describe this again. They weren't shaving their mustache, they were removing this part of their mouth and holding it in front of their face as they're bleeding. Uh, it crushes me because this community, I really can't explain it. I know that so many of you guys who watch and watch this later, you've never had an experience with this community. They're the most marvelous people in the world. They're the most incredible people in the world, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say that lightly. And to see my brother dealing with this, first of all, I'm so sorry. Like my all of my condolences to you, obviously, with everything you're dealing with. But just to see this going on again, and to see even the delay, and I appreciate the IDF like you going in now and doing what needs to be done. But I think this idea that we have that we need to make peace deals with these jihadists before looking out for our own. The Druze are our own. They are our people. Our people. I take complete and utter brothership, ownership, kinship over the Druze people. They are our own. We are theirs, and they are ours. And the fact that we even hesitate, it's shameful to me. And I said this last time we went on a live. It hurts me that we have that hesitation, and that we think that sometimes we need to appease the politicians or the terrorists in suits because of a future peace deal. And I don't think that the two things are mutually exclusive. I think that the peace and serenity and tranquility of Druze in Syria, all over the Middle East, goes hand in hand. It goes in conjunction with peace with Syria, with peace with the Syrian people, with peace with Al Jolani. And it's just seeing these videos, man. It's exactly like what you were saying. I have flashbacks of October 7th. It's
You know, teared like this was actually with you. If you remember when you went to Majd al Shams, and I just have a soft spot for that, for innocent in October 7th, for there's two religions in this world that I know that are just pure and that they love life, they cherish life, they don't want to take life. And when you see one Jew or one Druze get killed, it really breaks your heart. I'm not also a Muslim getting killed. It breaks your heart. But with these radicals, actually, they love to see their people killed, so they don't care. But we care when we lose one, and the whole country go crazy. In the Druze community, we lose one Druze, we see one elderly being, dragged with his beard and shaved like this and humiliated, and like his family's laying dead on the floor, and these young perverts just laughing over his body and calling him dogs and everything. We've seen that in the Holocaust. We've seen similar images in the Holocaust where they were doing that to the Jews. That's a very evil tactics of humiliating your enemies. So back to our update. While everything looked lost and the Druze were, some of them giving up, surrendering, others, and the one who surrendered, they started getting information about where the other ones are fighting. So things were looking really bad for the Druze and they were getting cut down. Then they went in their final attack, kind of, just kind of, all or nothing. And that's when the IDF came with their airplanes and with everything and really stepped it in and started blowing up, these jihadists to pieces. And that gave so much power to the Druze. And they went in. And as far as I heard lately, the Druze are now pushing them out of their city. They're running, they're fleeing, they're chasing them, they're killing them. The war is not over. It's not even close to be over. There is terrible stories of entire families. There was a family that had 25 of their, you know, young men who died defending their home. 25 of young shababs who just went and fought until the end, and then they went and killed them, and they took their wives and their daughters and etc. There is several Druze families that are on the run right now with these jihadists chasing them because they killed the men, and there's maybe a few surviving and they're running away with their daughters and children, but they want to make them a sex slave, so they're chasing them. So Syria, I always said that before, have became the Mad Max, the Book of Eli of jihadists. It's just a no man's land full of jihadists and radicals. And do not be mistaken. The government is part of these jihadists. They are the ones who actually took over. And I feel that maybe some of the hesitation of Israel, and we're going to find out soon when things go out from intervening, was because there's so much pressure by the Americans, the Europeans, and Saudi Arabia to normalize relationship with Syria, and Syria want to join the Abraham Accords, and everybody's falling for that. But when you look at the videos right now, these are the Syrian government. These people that are shaving the beards and spitting and desecrating the bodies and laughing, and kidnapping women, that's the Syrian government. So do you really think that these are the people that want to join you in the Abraham Accords? No, they're not partners. So what happens? I feel like America, and again, I might be wrong, but that's the rumors that is happening. That's what they're saying in the streets from what I'm hearing from the people in Syria. They're feeling like the West again have betrayed the minorities for the terrorists who pretend to be good and are hoping to have peace with them and sacrificing the minorities. And I feel like Israel was maybe told even, hey, stop it, stop fighting all around, let it happen. And after a certain point, I feel that Israel might have seen actually, no, this is not good. This is not that's it. And they just said when they saw the tanks driving in the streets, when they saw the massacres in the Khilwe, and you see the people who were killed. They were elderly people. They didn't have any vest on them, any weapons on them, nothing. They were just innocent civilians who just got massacred in their prayer house. They're probably sitting there praying to be saved, and they went and got massacred and tortured. So that's when Israel said, "Okay, gloves off. We're going in." And if you ask me, we shouldn't stop now. Israel, don't do the mistake of stopping now. These people are ISIS, Al Qaeda, and Daesh, and Hamas. They're the same thing. They hate the Jews, they hate Israel, they hate the Jews, they hate the Christians. By the way, people don't know there's several Christian people who died fighting alongside the Jews. As far as I know, there's 6 confirmed Christian fighters who went to fight alongside the Druze to save their families because the Druze are sheltering a lot of the Christians there as well. So there is a clear war right now that is happening in Syria between these jihadist Sunnah and anyone else. And the first easiest target to pick on are the minorities. It could be the Kurds, it could be the Druze, it could be the Christians, it could be the Alawites. And they're at the mercy of the West. And while the West is trying to normalize relationship with Jawlani, who are you? Let him prove that he's not. He have a track record of Olympic terrorist. Basically, he was in Al Qaeda, he was in ISIS. Not many terrorists can say that there were leadership in both. And then he jumped ship and started his own terrorist organization. So he's like a very innovative, very decorated terrorist. Okay, maybe he changed. Let him prove it. No one asked him to prove it. They're like, okay, let's believe everything he says. Let's believe everything he says. He must be a good guy because he have a suit.
The money trail, kivyachol, the path of why a lot of this is happening and the delay and the hesitation. I think it directly goes back to Trump and Trump's desire to prove that he's a peacemaker and to prove that he can make peace through the Abraham Accords and usher in. I mean, for him, it'd be a personal big achievement to say he made peace with Syria, he stabilized Syria. He'll obviously take ownership over that. And the issue is, if we keep kicking the can down the road, if we keep like the problem is ignoring the Druze is the issue. And I haven't seen since that first massacre. I never saw Bibi talking about it. I never saw Trump talking about it. Not once. It didn't make it to the mainstream media. Not once. It didn't make it to even the Israeli media, even ILTV, I-24 News. We were the only ones covering this shit, and it
To face reality. You're not gonna add this jihadist to the Abraham Accord and go and collect your Nobel Prize on the expense of the blood of the innocent just so you can feel good. There is evil. Doesn't matter which suit, which outfit, which haircut, which beard does he have. It's the same evil. And we've seen that same evil in Iran. We've seen that same evil in Hamas. In Palestine, it's on steroids. We've seen that in Lebanon with Hezbollah. We've seen that in Syria. The dream that you can think that, yeah, maybe if we give them a chance they'll do better, have never worked so far. I don't know a single Middle Eastern country that was, so evil like these guys that just became better. We do know Muslim countries that were very established, very moderate in some ways, that have crazy history here and there, but are actually aspiring to go, to a good direction right now. We see in that Saudi Arabia and the Emirates, they're still far off from the Western standard of human rights, but they're going in a very good direction. But these radical jihadists, there's not a single proof. There's not a single example where you see they were evil and then they stopped being evil and they became good. Why does the West keep falling for that?
ego thing. It's a desire to say we solved this problem, and the issue is that we've learned, Mansoor, especially in the last year and a half, 2 years, is that the Druze, unfortunately, don't have sex appeal. They don't have the marketing. They don't have the. How is it that we're the only ones fighting? How is it that we're the only ones speaking up? Even when Majd al Shams happened, it felt like we were talking alone. Like it felt like we were alone covering this issue. We didn't see the even the influencers in our space. We didn't see people running up there to document the story. We didn't see people standing in solidarity. Not enough. Not enough. It happened, but not enough. Nowhere near enough. And for me, it's disgusting to imagine that there may even be conversations about throwing the Druze under the bus completely in pursuit of a bigger peace. I can understand it on a geopolitical level, but it's not right. It's not right. It's not the right thing to do. We can't do something like that. We can't move forward. It does look like it.
Attacked Iran in the 12-day war. People were getting like in day two, day three, people were actually very positive that maybe this regime will be toppled. Like there's nothing better than that. That's the best outcome. No more nuclear, destructive, destroy the Jews, America, and planet Earth, and no more evil regime. But then suddenly they held back. Oh, stop it! Enough is enough. Ceasefire now, and they allowed this regime to stay. And the regime was taking names. Who are the people that dared to raise, the finger? Oh, we don't hate America. We don't hate the Jews. We want to have better life. Let's go kill them. And again, it's like every time they start the job, but then they kick the bucket to someone else, like you said. Now it makes me wonder, like how. Now again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but like how deep does Arab money go into the pockets of Western leaders? How deep into their policy making, into lobby? We know that it goes very deep into universities. We see that very clearly when universities start to admire Hitler and Osama bin Laden was right and hating Israel and hating America. You start realizing, okay, that's Arab money right there. That's like jihadist and communist money going there. But even here, like I'm fearing, you see Tucker Carlson. You're an American. I don't know what's your thought about Tucker Carlson and these dimwits, but when you become the number one to go to channel for dictators and evil regimes to come and become a PR agent to make them look good, then you're probably doing something wrong, man. You're doing something wrong when like Putin used you to make him look good. The Iranian regime, the president is using you to make him look good, and meanwhile you're obsessed with hating Israel. And it goes back to the saying, "No Jews, no news." And I feel like the same thing with the Druze.
Messed up. I have to ask you this, Mansoor. I think this is a really important question. We have 250, almost 300 people in and out of this live stream. I was even lost with this when it happened months ago. What is something actionable? We have people that are willing to do something. What is something we can actionize everyone who's watching this right now to do to help? What can we actually do to help?
People who are watching this video share videos like this. Share this voice because mainstream media is not giving us a platform. That's number one. Start being a voice for the voiceless. Don't follow mainstream media who is just telling you how to think based on who pays the money and who pushes the strings. You have individual reporters here, you can call it, that are coming and telling you what do we know. Tal was with me after the attack on Majd al-Shams. I took him there and we went physically and he saw the place. There was still the smell in the air of the burning, flesh and rubber that exploded. We got to talk to witnesses that seen it with their own eyes. So we're doing our best to actually tell the stories. I'm talking right now with people from Syria trying to bring their voices. That's number one. Number two is we need to start exposing radical Islam for what it is. You don't need to start, apologizing and explaining where the no. It's very easy to expose them. I mean, by the same standards that they get angry at Israel when they see a dead Palestinian kid, which we've seen a lot of these fake images where an ambulance driver is driving with a baby and is giving it. Why is the cameraman there? Why isn't he taking care? Now, why? Because they don't care about the baby. They care about you. And they know that you care about the baby, so they're gonna show you the baby. And then the world go raging. But what happened when you see dead Jewish babies, when you see dead Druze babies? And it's because the way that the world is kind of programming people to think is that whoever shouts "I'm a victim" the loudest and have more people shouting with him, he must be the victim. And then what happened? All the small people get bullied by the bad guys. So we need to start exposing them. We need to start exposing. And another thing, if you ask me, and I know it might sound radical, and I'm not extreme right. I actually used to think that I was left before, until the left got crazy and I got left in the center. Like, what's happening? What happened with the left? They went cuckoo. But the right also sometimes going cuckoo as well. But if Israel now, I think we need to pressure the world to create a humanitarian corridor from the border of Israel all the way to Sweden. Because one of the challenges is that we're unable to reach our brothers in Syria and Sweden, send them food, send them medication, send them basic equipment, Starlinks. I have very, very capable friends who've been gathering and collecting and buying all kind of devices and gifts, but you can't give it to them. You can't reach. You get ambushed and taken by the Bedouins on the way. Jordan doesn't want to let any humanitarian aid go to the Druze. Why is that? I don't know. They never want to help people in need. They just want to hate Israel. So they're alone. So Israel, I think, should go and create a humanitarian corridor. That is a humanitarian corridor that's worth actually creating. So the Druze and Sweden can have some air to breathe. They can send their people to the border with Israel, because the most safe place in Syria right now, by the way, is the occupied territories in Syria. And I know that for first hand, the safest place in Syria right now is whatever the IDF have occupied. People there are safe. They can go to sleep. They don't need to lock their doors at night. No one's going to kidnap them. They need medications. They go to the military, the IDF with their doctors provide for them. We know that. I know that, like, for fact. I know that their IDF, their coordinates sometimes with the hospitals in Israel. That's a severe case. Let them in, even though the passports. I don't know, enemy country. Let them in, save them. The hospitals in Israel are full of Syrian people saving their lives, because anywhere that Israel is controlling is becoming better. It's becoming more stable and safe. So if you ask me, Israel should go and take over all the area until the Druze mountain. Now, it might sound crazy to people, but trust me when I'm telling you, anyone that's going to be under that authority is going to be blessed. They're going to have a much better life than living under Jawlani or living under Iran or living under Hezbollah and these radicals. And for Israel, that will give it a better security border to defend itself. When the war with Iran was happening, when the Iran regime was about to be toppled, people don't know because it didn't reach the media. I was very closely monitoring it. Two armies of jihadists, not factions, armies, sponsored by Iran, that were staying in Iraq, by the way. One was Iranian, one was Iraqi. They started going toward Israel with the intention of just invading Israel. I thought, that's it. Allah Akbar, we're going to go Allah Akbar on you. Maybe some of them would even make it in and start slaughtering. The most would be killed and stopped in the way. And they were coming with, by the way, launchers, Grad missiles, and other to launch. And the place and the Jawlani forces, because the Shia Sunni, they hate each other, so they send their army to intercept them, and they completely crush the Jawlani forces because they're so much more trained than the Jawlani forces, a bunch of jihadists. So after crushing Jawlani and going in, they stopped because the Druze mountain was separating between them into Israel, and they knew they're going to have to go and fight with the Druze, and that's going to stop them. And then Israel's going to come and kill them. So that's kind of basically what stopped them. So that Druze mountain there is literally a clear buffer zone between the lunatics and Israel. I'm not under the assumption that Druze are going to protect Israel. Israel's going to end up protecting the Druze more than they protect us, but it's equivalent. We protect them, they protect us, and I honestly think that Israel should stop behaving like some kind of a small nation, start behaving like a powerhouse of the Middle East. We need to dictate how things need to work here, not these Shugana jihadists, these perverts. They're literally perverts, not them. They're analphabet perverts.
I wanna do something. First of all, while you were talking, I'm messaging the biggest people I know with the biggest Instagram pages right now, and I'm begging them to let us make a video right now to get on the biggest pages. Last time this happened, I made a video on my own that we all collaborated on that got nearly over a quarter million views, and I know that it sparked a movement. So I think we can, if we can push onto some of these bigger pages that are pro Israel, we might be able to start getting a movement going, some sort of flow. But listen, there's almost 300 people watching right now. Take a moment right now. I need each and every single one of you. You're all watching right now. I need you to stop what you're doing. If it means you need to turn off the stream, turn it off for a second, and you can come right back. Go on all of your social media right now. You can choose Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want. Just write the words, save the Druze, and post it. Just do that right now. It's a good first step. This isn't some Black Lives Matter black box or anti Semitism blue box. This is different. We're dealing with a situation right now where these people have no coverage. No coverage. Nobody is talking about this. This isn't anti-Semitism, and it's not anti-Islam, and it's not Black Lives Matter. This is a totally different beast we're up against. People are being massacred, and nobody's hearing about it, and nobody's going to hear about it. So I need everybody who's watching this right now, don't put it in the comments of this video. Go off the video. Go to your social media, write "Save the Druze" and come right back. Me and Mansoor are going to be here. We're not going anywhere. We're here, and after Mansoor, I'm going to have a more Druze guests that are going to come onto this stream. We're going to keep cycling this through for a little while here, so you guys get more and more updates. But go on your social media right now. Save the Druze. Come back to me. Let me know when you did it in the comments. I'm gonna one sec just go turn on the lights. I'll be right back.
Gone, guys. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate what you're seeing here is the true essence of coexistence. That is a Jew. I'm an Arab. I'm a Druze. He's an Arab Jew. We're different religions. We love one another. We will fight for one another. We die for one another. If you look at Israel, the Druze are sacrificing their life to protect the Jews, vice versa, the Jews to protect the Druze, the Christians, the Muslims. Israel is not the problem in the Middle East. I'm telling you this as an Arab. Israel is the only hope for peace in the Middle East. And the moment that this is going to be the song that Western media is going to start singing, we're going to start seeing actually a better future for the Middle East. But as long as they're actually trying to put Israel in bad light and to put the Jews in bad light and to let the jihadists in good light, it's never going to be solved. Because I'm telling you, let me tell you a secret, these jihadists are not good people. Evil is evil, doesn't matter which mask it's wearing. And it's very, very important people to understand that. So I stole your mic for a second while you were gone, but just, it was very important for me to share that.
On it too, and then maybe I'll bring on Rania after you. Um, Sorry, I'm just giving her an update that she's gonna come on soonish. Um, I want to dive into this because we did this last time, and I think it's really important. I have a newfound Christian audience that has started following my page. I know for yours as well, and I explained this last time. I would love for you to also shine more light on it. For those of you guys who maybe don't know what the origins or the essence of the Druze people are, it actually is biblical. And the reason why I, for example, feel such a kinship is because when you think about Jewish people, when you think about Druze people, they're not necessarily a different people. We kind of come from the same exact source. We have a biblical marriage that intermarried our two communities, and that marriage covenant lasts until today. Like me and Mansour, our family, we are blood. No matter how many generations are removed, we have a blood pact that was signed 3,000 years ago. And that's actually, I'll let Mansour explain it even better than me. But for those of you guys who know who Jethro is in the Bible, at least in the Jewish narrative, we believe that the Druze are the descendants of Jethro. Jethro is the most important religious figure prophet in the Druze religion, which kind of takes things from all these beautiful religions in the Middle East and combines them into one amazing, peaceful, and open religion. But Jethro is like the main prophet. Jethro was the father of Tzipporah, the wife of Moses. So when Moses, a Hebrew, an Israelite out of slavery, married into Jethro's family, the Druze and the Jewish people became one. We had a marriage between our two families that lasts until right now. So when people ask me why this issue is so important to me, why I go to the bat sometimes more for Druze than I even do for my own people, it's because the Druze are my own people. I don't see a difference between a Druze person and a Jewish person. To me, we're part of the same exact family. We have different traditions, we have a different language, we have a different belief system. But as for the blood, that's the same. We're family. And I'll let you expand on it, but it's family.
Israel, I never look in the street and think this guy's a Druze, this guy's a Jew. I don't even think he's a Christian, he's a Muslim. I think we're Israelis. But the Druze and the Jews have a very unique covenant, and it all goes down to the origins from Jethro. And I was just talking to a Druze relative of mine today that was, his family's in Syria. One of our relatives died in the fighting, and other got injured in the leg, got shot his brother, and another one is not responding to me right now. And he was telling me, if Israel doesn't help us, what should we do? Should we maybe try to appease the Jolani regime? And I told him, listen, man, let me break it for you. There's no hope there. And I told him there's different types of religions in the world. And one thing you can see about the Druze and the Jews, that they try to help, they try to guide the way. The Jews are considered the people of the book. In Judaism, in Christianity, in Islam, and Druze, they brought the books, they brought the law, they brought the teaching of one God, and they blessed the world with that. They literally blessed the world with that. People don't know that the word Gehenom, Jehannam, came from a place called Gai Ben Hinnom, which is the valley of Hinnom. And that was outside of Jerusalem. In that valley, they used to sacrifice a lot of humans and children, and also, goats with their babies and the milk of its mother, all kind of crazy stuff. And there was always fire and flames and screaming, and that's where the word Gehenom came. Hell, by the way, because of that. So there was a lot of very evil, pagan, crazy cow poop that's happening. And then the Jews came and brought a very unique religion that teach about one God, teach about humans and the story that they struggle and that no one is perfect, but we all aspire to become better. And they brought the blessing being the people of the book. The Druze brought a very, very unique, different blessing. They brought blessing of hospitality. And look at from the beginning, and anyone who knows the Druze knows that they're very hospitable. And it's hospitality and guidance. When you walk into a Druze village, they will welcome you in. Jethro, Yitro, the father-in-law of Moses, the father of Zipporah, who married Moses, he brought Moses when Moses was a nobody, a little abandoned young man running in the desert, afraid for his life. He welcomed him to his tribe. He taught him how to become a shepherd. He taught him how to become a leader. That's in the Bible. He taught him how to govern a country, govern people. He taught him how to be kind and brave and strong. And he loved him so much that he even let him marry his daughter. And then he sent them with a blessing and with the power of God, let my people go. And he started his journey. So that Druze hospitality of welcoming people into us. The Druze are very hospitable. Anyone comes in peace, come in and they will sit with you, they will talk to you, they will go out of their way to help you. And anyone who encountered and visited a Druze village know what I'm talking about. Not only good food, but very good hospitality. They're not judgmental. They're actually super excited to know which religion you come from. Oh, you're Christian. We love the Christians. Sidna al-Masih, our, uh, our grandfather, the Messiah, they call him. You are a Muslim, they want to hear about your prophet. You're a Jew, they want to hear about your religion. You're an atheist, they want to hear about it. You're from the Hindu, you want to hear about it. So they're very welcoming, but that special bond that they had with the Jews, I think it's like a blood covenant that imagine two brothers that got separated by birth at a very young age, and then they meet one day. And each one comes with his scars and with his life and with his addictions and with his problems that he had along the way, heartbroken, built some walls to protect him. But then you meet a brother and you see, like, he's like me. And you slowly, slowly start coming close. And that was the story of the Jews and the Druze. They came and they started slowly, slowly come closing to each other and bringing the walls down, peeling the onions down, and became closer. And today in Israel, the Druze and the Jews are the only two groups, actually, that have all the rights and the obligations. The Druze have to serve in the army, the Jews as well. Other groups have all the rights, not necessarily all the obligations. The Christians and the Muslims, they don't have to serve in the army. They can if they want, they don't have to, because the Druze and the Jews are carrying that burden for everyone else. So it shows you that beautiful story of this blood covenant. And I think the best, and it gives me goosebumps here, Israel standing with the Druze after the massacre of Majd al-Shams. And later on, Israel standing with the Druze in Syria. Israel have no incentive as a modern democracy government to go and to fight a war in an enemy country for a minority of citizens in that country. But Israel came and said, out of our respect for the loyalty and the love for our Druze citizens, we are willing to go to war for them. And just imagine what a crazy thing that's to do. That is like, there's not a single country in the world that is doing that. You don't see United States even going to war in Mexico to save some people or in Colombia that are being oppressed by the cartels. They don't do that. I mean, it's terrible. They would love to see them, succeed and have a better life. But Israel is literally going out of, an American who come and say, we have so many Hispanics in America. We love you guys so much. You're so great. You're great citizens. We're going to go right now and fix South America for you. They don't do that. Israel is literally doing that. They're saying, we're going to go, and if anyone touch the cousins of our citizens, we will take them down. Not Jewish, Druze citizens. So that just shows you what an amazing country Israel is and what a beautiful covenant does the Jews and the Druze have On October 7th, one of the most famous sacrifices that happened was of Salman Habaki. He was the commander of the tank platoon. And while the citizens were fighting in the streets in Be'eri, were fighting for their lives, and the paratroopers got there and they didn't know what's happening, just fighting for their life against these hordes of jihadists, suddenly out of nowhere, a tank comes. And on the radio, you can hear that radio. He comes and says, "My name is Salman and I'm here." And everybody's like, "What is the tank doing here?" What he did, he defied direct orders. He jumped on his tank and he drove all the way to save the Jews. And he died. Yeah, I need to gather myself. Man, I've never been emotional like this in a long time.
We're all with you. We really are all with you.
We've sacrificed so much for one another. And and it won't stop.
Supersedes this supersedes political ties, it supersedes land, it supersedes religion. It's a blood pact. It really is a blood pact. And I feel bad for those Jews or those Israelis who haven't had the experiences that even I have had that have motivated me to be so vocal about my Jewish brothers and sisters. To just to make it a little bit lighter for a moment, um, I want to tell you guys a story. Mansour was talking about the Druze hospitality. Well, before I moved to the apartment that I'm living in right now, my friend Barak and I, we drove up to near Majd al-Shams to a town called Bukata, which is known as the more religious Druze village in the Golan Heights. And we simply went there to have dinner. Barak had never eaten Druze food before. I said, "You've got to experience this because the hospitality is insane." We walk into this restaurant. Of course, like Mansour said, the owner, beautiful man, older man with a mustache, comes up to us like Santa Claus, the most jolly, the most happy, the most welcoming possible. Just come. What do you need? Where are you coming from? What's your story? Why are you here? We came in the middle of the night. It just came to sit with us, just to talk with us, like so excited and joyful about the fact that we're in his restaurant. Then, then the queen herself walked in. His wife Nasiba. Her name is Nasiba. She came in. She took our order of what we wanted to eat. She said, "Ah, fuck your order. I'm gonna bring you everything I want to bring you." And then she started bringing out food. And when she finished bringing out food, she brought us tea. And then she started bringing out photo albums. We didn't ask. She started bringing photo albums of the family and what they do and her sons. And within, I'm not joking, within 30 minutes, I felt like I had made new genuine friends. And we ended up sitting there for 2.5 hours. I just asked a simple question because I just moved to a new apartment. I didn't have a couch. I didn't have anything to sit on in my apartment. I wanted to buy the poofs that Bedouins and Druze sometimes sit on when they build like a khilwe, not a khilwe, a hammam in the backyard. Um, so I just asked the question, "Do you know where in the village I can buy one? Because I want to go buy one." Within 10 seconds, there were four in my hands. These are massive poofs that cost a pretty penny, and she's telling me, take them. And I say, "Nasiba, I just met you. I don't feel comfortable." I told her I genuinely don't feel comfortable to take from you these things. Take, just take them. And she ended up giving me these massive poofs to sit on which the first couple months I spent in this apartment, I was sitting on a blessing for my Druze friends, and I'm still in touch with her till today. I remember the day that Assad fell, she was sending me memes about Assad in his underwear, all these pictures that were exposed of Assad. And this is one of those things that I don't, you know, I've traveled around the world. I've been to 77 countries. I've had a lot of incredible experience. Hey, Rafi, how you doing, brother? you have you have the best dad in the world. You have the number one dad in the world. I want you to know. Best Abba ever.
It off. That's how many people live are watching us, and that's how many people liked us. They did like this because they liked you. I cleaning. Ooh, €0.50. We're rich.
This is the story that I wanted to bring to you as like just this is just a personal testament that's happened to me just this year. I mean, I could list you stories that have happened to me with the Druze people throughout my life because I've had a lot of interaction. But this is just one story that happened now recently that when you see the passion behind why we fight for this is a blood pact. My home is open for any Druze who ever wants to come. The same way that I know if I want to enter a Druze's home, the door is open for me without question. It's just come and receive, come and be. It's the same with me. If a Druze person ever needed to stay, to come, to be, to eat, I would do everything because I know this is blood. This is dumb. This is deeper.
To the pits of hell to go and save Jewish people. Mothers and daughters and children that were locked in bomb shelters. A friend of mine once asked me in Europe, "Are you crazy? Why would you fight for your country? Why would you fight for politicians?" I told him, "We're not fighting for country and a politician. We're fighting for the people. We're fighting because there was a mother that was locked inside of a basement and begging for her life while these monsters are outside trying to break in." That's what we went. And my family have fought in all of the wars of Israel, every single one of them. I was in several of them, and our children will keep doing that. Why is that? Because we are fighting for a better future for our children. The Druze and the Jews are in this together. It's a blood covenant. And today, October 7th, and other occasions, it was proven again and again that whenever one falls, the other one stands with him. And just you coming and offering your platform right now, there's 278 people live here standing and watching. That's more than a professor will get at a university. When I was in university, you'll get a room full of 50 people. You get so happy. Now, there's 278 people live sitting and watching, and you're giving me your platform. I know later on more people will watch this. So, standing by us in our times of need and standing with you guys, it's what blood covenant really means, in good and in bad. And I think we've been proving that again and again. And I'm so proud of my country, and I'm so proud of my Jewish friends, brothers and sisters, our Christian friends that are standing here, that are watching, that are supporting. So I just wanted to say that thank you. And someone was asking uh, if I have a Discord. So yes, I have a Discord. It's from the times when I was a gamer in university, so I barely ever use it. But someone asked a more important question here. Do the Druze in Syria are they going to be loyal to Israel if and etc. etc. Well, you need to understand the Druze, they try to stay away from politics, and the Druze up until Israel only lived under evil regimes, only lived under oppressive, evil regimes. And the way to survive was to say, we're not a threat to you guys. Actually, even more in Syria and in Lebanon and in Jordan, they had to live in taqiyya, meaning that they had to actually hide their identity and say, we're Muslims. Otherwise, they will be kuffar and they will be killed. And often they had to flee to the mountains and they had to become farmers and warriors to fight. And the first time in the history of the Druze that they actually had equal rights like the people who are governing over them, was in Israel. That's the first time where you start seeing young Druze girls flying satellites into space, and Druze fighter pilots and officers and intelligence and lawyers and judges in the Supreme Court and in the government and women and etc. And we're talking about crazy stuff, women driving a car. And that was like, might sound very, very like, what are you talking about? Many Arab countries, you don't see women driving cars. In Israel, they can get a license, they can go, they have social insurance, they had a good life. My mom is one of the most respected and loved women in the Jewish city that we're living in. Everybody who sees her in the street welcomes her. Everybody knows her. She literally raised half the city because she was a kindergarten teacher, and half the children in that city, not half, but quite a lot, went under her education. So the Druze in Syria and Lebanon have been living under this propaganda that Israel is evil, that the Jews are evil, they're wicked, that they drink babies' blood, that they just want to fight, and etc. And to some of them, they've never met a Jew. They've only been hearing it. Luckily for them, they had relatives that were afraid to talk to us because they will get killed if they found that they're talking to Israelis. But they will talk to us sometimes. And the question that they will ask us will be shocking. They say, like, are they really treating you so bad? I said, no, we're treating us great. I said, what do you mean? I said, yeah, my best friends are Jews. Really? And we tell them, yeah, I mean, they're the best people in the world, man. I'm so lucky that I have Jewish friends, Christian friends in Israel, and etc. And that was cracking a lot. And now with the Assad regime falling down, they start to get open and open. So yes, there's a lot of maybe hesitation, but in general, they never hated the Jews. They always said they're ulad amna, they're our cousins. So if they ever end up coming and living with Israel, I am positive that they'll become great citizens and great support of this country. In general, any religion in the Middle East, except for Islam, will end up becoming very great citizens to any country that they go to because they respect the rules and they don't try to change and convert you by force. Islam have their own problem. They need to solve their own problem of trying to convert planet Earth or kill them.
We were to absorb the Druze community or at least have an autonomous zone, the cooperation would be amazing. I really believe the same way that I believe in a strong Israel. I believe in a strong Druze area. I believe in a strong Druze nation, in a Druze nation that can protect itself, that can defend itself, that has. And I think that I think between you and I, we can say Druze people have learned a lot since October 7th, also, especially since Majd al-Shams and now many Jewish people are waking up to the fact that maybe they don't want independence, but they want the strength to be able to protect themselves because they know that the Muslims in this area, they're looking at them the same way that they look at the Jews. When can we pick you off? When can we take advantage of you? And I think the Jewish people know now more than ever that it's time to maybe not make peace with Israel, but unify with Israel ideologically to usher in a new age here in the Middle East. Mansoor, I want to let you go. I want to bring on Khalifa because he's ready to come on. Um, yeah, I will.
The followers that are seeing here, I've seen so many familiar names, and that's because a lot of the people that started following my channel came from the traveling clan. They used to, we are the clan people, the tal people. So thank you so much, BT, and people that I saw here. Torah Worldwide, and all these legends. We love you guys.
We're very big fans of Mansoor. Fans. I did. By the way, I did a podcast today in Tel Aviv, and Yon ended up being the videographer, and I was talking about you in the podcast. And I didn't say your name, but me and Yon looked at each other. We knew exactly who I was talking about. We both looked at each other and smiled. Our crazy Druze brother.
Thank you so much.
Mansoor, אני אוהב
Yes,
אותך המון, אחי. My heart's with you, brother. Love you. Talk to you soon, man. Bye bye. Okay, we're gonna bring on another incredible Druze advocate. His Here, I'll remove you. Okay, there we go. We're gonna bring on another incredible Druze advocate. His name is Khalifa. He hosts a podcast in Hebrew that actually talks about the Druze ethnicity. Before I bring on Khalifa, and we also have Rania who's waiting to come on. She's an incredible Druze woman as well who's gonna add more to this. I want to remind you guys again. There's 271 people watching. Did you see how emotional Mansoor was? Do you see how important this issue is to both? I mean, I've shed tears during the stream today. I need you guys to really take a moment. I know some of you guys didn't do it before. And you know what? Feel free to Tag me so I can see this. Whether you want to tag my name or whatever, on whatever social media you do it, tag me in it so I can see you're doing it. Please, please, please go off the stream right now if you need to. If you can do it while the stream is playing, that's even better. Go write somewhere on your social media, save the Druze. Save the Druze. Save the Druze. Don't hashtag it. Write the words, save the Druze. Let's start this. Let's move this the same way we did last time. Last time we made a lot of movements, a lot of ripples in this space, and people were listening and they were perking up because we spoke up. Go right now on your social media. Save the Druze. Feel free to tag me. You can tag the traveling clad. You can write my name, whatever you want to do, so I can see that you're doing it. Let me know and type it back here that you did it. Anywhere on your social media, it doesn't matter where. TikTok, Instagram, right? Save the Druze. Save the Druze. Save the Druze. So everybody knows. Everybody knows what needs to be done. Here, we are. I'm gonna shout it. I'm shouting out everyone who's doing it too, by the way. Here's Navit Tabib. See, already tagged us. Save the Druze on my Instagram. I'm reposting the story. Go, 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 go. Let's blow this shit up. Let's make sure everybody knows. You saw how you when I see my brother Mansour crying like this, when I see him in tears like this, it literally destroys me. I can't. It's so painful to see it because you guys don't understand. There's just so much emotions behind what's going on in this situation. It's very very difficult to express this, but I need you guys to be partners with us. I see that 30 people bounced, so I'm assuming that means at least 30 people are going to post right now, and I'm going to be reposting all of your stuff. All right, I'm going to let Khalifa join in now. And hopefully Khalifa can. I hope that it actually works. Let's see if he can join, and hopefully he can add even more insight about what's going on. Beautiful, he can join. Amazing, Khalifa. Ah, there he is. Look at
Hey
this
Sam,
handsome man. Why are all the Druze people so beautiful? I don't understand what this is. What's in your genetics that make you guys so beautiful? Uh, Brother, we just had a very emotional update from Mansour. We were both crying on here, and as we were talking about the brotherhood between the Jews and the Druze, what's going on with the IDF, what's going on in Syria. I'd love for you to give us more of an update. We've had around 300 people on the stream. Please feel free to use my platform. I would love for you to explain to the people from your perspective what's happening.
thank you for your platform and for your audience because it's very important to discuss what's happening with the Druze. Me, like Mansour, like many other Druze, I've been going through October 7 event, but in much larger scale, seeing the slaughters, kidnapping women and the children. They They actually did very malicious thing because they got an international legitimacy, being sovereign country and everything, but still those are ISIS forces and ISIS ideology forces, and now the Druze are being punished for simply visiting Israel in religious pilgrimage in April 25th. This is what started the whole thing. They came in and we had such a beautiful gathering. So I lost contact with some of my friends now that are fighting in the front, and we've met in the last April, and I've been in a deep anxiety about what's happening and trying to imagine what's happening with their kids, with their women, with like those people are butchers. They are butchers. Those terrorists are not human beings. And the ideology, I can understand their language. I speak their language. I know their mindset. And those people mean business, and their business is that they are bloodthirsty animals, and they want to kill anyone who's not adhere to their Islamic caliphate. once Bashar al-Assad regime fell, the Druze felt the opportunity because they knew for like what is their chances. Their chances, their best chances for survival and flourishing, is to get bonds with the Druze brothers in Israel, and try to make bridges between the Druze and the Jews, and try to open the gates to the West, to the civilized world. And on the other hand, they have Damascus, who's now being ruled by this butcher from ISIS, who sent people to do suicide bombings and do heinous stuff. And just to put in reminder, the Druze in Syria are in many different places, and one of them actually in Idlib. And those who remember, Idlib is in the north part of Syria, way far from the south part that we are discussing now, which is Sweden. And we had a small Druze community over there, around 40 or 50,000 Druze, right next to the border of Turkey. And once HTS and Julani got control of this place 15 years ago, this community basically faced extinction. Now they have less than 5,000 individuals.
Wow. Wow.
Most of them have been Islam by force. Some of them were compelled to, marry their daughters or siblings to jihadists from Turkey and all those kinds. Just to remind everybody who doesn't know, we the Druze, you can't convert to Druze. You can't become Druze. There's no trick that you can do, and that will make you Druze. And in order to become Druze, you need to have both your parents, both the father and the mother, as Druze. And Druze in let's say in hostile environments, like the place that they lived in Idlib, they try to camouflage or filter out the differences between them and the community, just not to draw too much attention, and to say we simply like you, we are Muslims, although the Druze are not Muslims, but they try to play along. And those people, the terrorists, would say, okay, well, you're Muslim, so let me marry your daughter. And this is how they faced extinction. And this is how I start and begin to talk about the Druze from the first place, because what is happening in the north part is also very relevant, as we are seeing now, to the southern part. And the Druze in the south of Syria is the largest concentration of Druze in the world. They like call this is my Jerusalem, you see. I've been dreaming of this place, of visiting it, kissing its ground, meeting its people, eating its fruit. For the past 2 years, I've been obsessed about my Jerusalem, and knowing that these people, these brave people, are trying to fight for their freedom and not to adhere to any bullies, any ideological bullies, even though they got legitimacy from Trump person. So Trump doesn't live here. We live here. We need to face those guys. And the Druze in Syria now are fighting the fight for Israel because they are the front line. And once the occupiers of Sweden, they try to occupy Sweden now because it's conceived as an Israeli proxy, like the headline or the naming of the Druze as an Israeli proxy or as Israeli affiliated group or things like that. It's already there, and the whole sin is that they wanted decent life exactly like we have here in Israel. This is why we love the state of Israel. We have the freedom to conduct our religion, the way we live, our way of living, our way of thinking and speaking. We have all those beautiful fruits that the Western civilization and the Judeo-Christian basis just gave us, and we want to give it to our fellow friends and our families, to the Syrian side, and simply because they are looking for fair and decent life, they are being butchered now, and those Islamists are trying to teach them the lesson that it's not okay to be non-Muslim,
Yeah.
although we don't threat anybody. And this Islamist supremacy is like outraging, to be honest.
Move in an ideal world, what would be the right move for Israel and for the Druze people in Syria and Sueda to do right now? Do you think that us absorbing Sueda, absorbing the south of Syria into Israel to expand our territory and make the Druze have peace for once would be the right move? Would the Druze even want this? What's the right move?
Part, which is the easiest to answer about what the Druze want, well, basically, me speaking to them, they really wanted this thing. They've been living in this desert of for the past 50 years of Hafez al-Assad and Bashar al-Assad regime, the civil war, and now all those extremists. So they are desperate for, some stability, some decent life, and they are so desperate. They know that we basically now lack all the means. We don't have infrastructure. We don't have the personnel. All the people who could flee the country fled the country. We have severe lack of men in a working age in Sweden. As I told you, I started discussing the Druze community because I came to a realization that this is under severe threat of extinction as a community. So the way they approach Israel, like their saviors. So once they open this part in their mind that they can reach to Israel or have any relationship with Israel, so they thought, okay, this is our savior. Come occupy us, and we will be part of Israel, and we will be Druze, and we will live happily ever after. But I, I'm personally, I'm against that from a couple of reasons. One of them, I'm afraid as an Israeli that it's a bigger bite for Israel to bite at once. To enlarge your borders in such way, and you will have boots on the ground. And once you go and occupy territory and get to forced conflict with arms, you don't know how it will end. It's too much messy for me to go, okay, let's do it, because it will be reckless in my opinion. But even though I will say, let's start by eliminating things. What they don't know, that what they surely don't want is to be ruled under Islamic law or Sharia law. And according to the constitution of Syria now, this is what it's gonna happen, and they are not gonna yield to that. They don't want that. So the other option would be try and seek some international security, like or international forces. Israel could push the international community first of all on to open the borders, to have some help and aid, humanitarian aid, blood that we could donate, some medical basic stuff. They are lacking of basic needs: water, clean water, electricity, internet, all those kind of things. Second of all, say, okay, Syria now is trying to establish itself as a state. A lot of people will go with this Islamist state, but we as a community, we have the right to choose otherwise. So if you don't want to give that us, and we have our own territory, so let's have some Israeli mandate. Let's say a group of specialists that will go and help to build the council, to put some democratic ideas and ideology, because before Israel established, we actually did a copy paste on what we had.
Right.
The leadership. They're lacking so much things, and they need this powerful state, aka Israel, to help them like go those steps. So I had in mind, let's say, let's put a mandate for 25 years or 15 years, try to help those Druze community to welcome some Israeli specialists and forces to secure the place and help them how to become, a sovereign force, because this is where we are heading. Those rules, especially after the slaughter of a couple of the past
A
days,
couple months ago,
will
yeah.
not live under those guys. No way. No, we won't allow it.
I'm at a loss for words when you speak with your conviction of. I, I'm also confused. I think everybody's a bit confused in this time of what is exactly the right course of action. But I know in my heart, 100% that we can't proceed pretending like HTS and the Al Jolani government, we cannot pretend that they can just do what they do to the minorities in Syria, first and foremost the Druze, and we can turn a blind eye to it. We just can't move forward in that way. We have to, in my opinion, establish a set of rules that says if you want peace with Israel, if you want peace with the West, if you want to gain from America, there cannot be a thought about hurting the Druze community. The Druze community is paramount to the survival of Syria, and make it we have to, and I said this, Mansour, the Druze community right now lacks the sex appeal to market itself as a cause, and that we have to change that. It's up to you and me, Khalifa. It's up to you, me, Mansour, Rania, everybody who wants to change this narrative.
Exactly so. And as I told you, like, I think that the Jewish community in general now, especially in Syria, the world is asking it, what do you want? Do you want your freedom? You need to fight for it. Nobody's going to give you your sovereignty. Nobody's going to give you a state on a golden platter and say, here you go, and all your wishes will come true. No, you need to fight for your right to live, and to stand on your own. So that's first. But I want to address something that I think that it's the premise that we are walking according to, that, and this is really frustrating, because you deal with Israelis, and this is, just put in perspective, those are the people who did this spectacular aggression on Iran, the pagers, killing and all those. United States. That's a Israel need to stand for its own, because, and I think this is what's very specifically special about the Druze case, because it compels Israel to take its natural role to become this local power that
Yeah,
it could help the good guys and fight the bad guys. It's
yeah.
only now fighting the bad guys with no strategy. You can see that they are only working on the tactic perspective, but they can't see far from that. And this is what really drives me mad. As an Israeli, I said, where is the statesmanship? Like, where are those men who once you of Churchill or one or I don't know, people that had their words, had their scales, could change things. Today, we are lacking that here in Israel. We lack the vision, and the Israelis and the Druze is nagging on Israel. What is your vision? What do you want from being here around in the Israel, in the land of Israel? And this is answer. This is a question that we all need to answer, and it's yet to be revealed, I guess.
Well, hopefully, I mean, if there's a silver lining, and it's hard to find a silver lining with what's going on, if there is a silver lining, hopefully it brings more clarity to the Druze community in the Middle East on where they want to stand, especially in conjunction to Israel. And I 100% agree with you, Khalifa. I think that Israel being a strong and defined arbiter of morality and peace in the Middle East, like you and I have talked about in the past, peace through strength, not peace through just democracy and liberal rights, peace through strength, where jihadists fear us. And they fear us not because we're Jews, they fear us because we're a coalition of Druze and Jews and Christians and Muslims who hate jihadism, who hate the people who shave the mustaches off of people after they finish murdering them in their place of worship to spite them, to the people who treat people like dogs, to the people who, when they kill, they film their bodies and they say khanzir, they call them pigs to smite them. We can stand as a coalition of people who stand against that ideology. I could not agree with you more. Strong, proud, and defined. That is like the truthest truth that there ever is. Khalifa, I'm gonna bring on Rania now because I have a little bit of time left. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Can you please let people know who are you? By the way, I never even introduced you properly.
Yeah, well, I'm a Druze podcaster. I'm hosting the Khalifa Shrugged podcast dealing with the Druze case. And that's basically what I do for the past few years. And thank you so much, Tal. It's so good to talk to you. You're such an amazing inspiration for all of us. And I really appreciate your generosity of bringing me here and for your lovely audience.
Ba'avachi, anytime, always. I told you before last time we had to deal with this horrible situation. I stand with you guys 110%. I'm with you guys in everything. It's your fight is my fight, and vice versa. So whenever I can and however I can help amplify the message, I'm here for you guys. Um,
Thank you.
mu-
That's deeply appreciated. Honestly, thank you.
much love to you, actually. We'll talk soon, okay? Keep me updated. Bye,
Perfect.
brother. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
brother. See you later.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna bring on now Rania. Uh, she is an incredible Druze who lives in America now, but she's originally from Israel. I'm so sorry, by the way. I was seeing during that Khalifa, he wasn't cutting out for me, so I could hear him perfectly the entire time. Uh, one second. I think Rania's having an issue joining. Let me resend her the link. So I think that he may have had some internet issues, but for some reason it was coming through for me, just not for you guys. But please follow him. The Khalifa Show is a podcast, and sorry, it's telling me that Rania is trying to join. And Rania will hopefully come on here and give us even more clarity on what's going on. I want to take a moment again, as we're waiting for Rania to join, to remind you guys to please go on all of your social media right now and write Save the Druze. Save the Druze on all your social media, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram. And please tag me in it. I'm going to go through on my Instagram right now and see who's tagging me in Save the Druze so we can at least get a messaging going here. we can activate. We can let people know what's going on. Um, I'm trying to troubleshoot Ranya's joining in here. I'm also trying to see if anybody tagged me in any more videos. And it seems like we're seeing also Druze people right now breaking in from Druze people from Israel breaking back into Syria to go fight on behalf of their people, which I can't even blame them. I cannot blame them. If it's a radical action that will maybe get people killed, I cannot blame them for actually wanting to. This is just such a heartbreaking and terrible situation. It's really horrific what's going on. I'm just following everything from above, and it's really terrible to see, guys. It really really is. I can't stress enough how bad this is. I'm gonna try to message this again to Rania. Sorry, guys, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to troubleshoot here and bring you guys an incredible Druze woman to come speak. There we go. There we go. Oh, Ran- Rania, Habibti, good to see you. Oh no, we lost her. She's back.
Circumstances.
Oh, it's
Yes,
like
can
it's
you
like
hear me
popping in and
now?
out for some reason. Okay, I think we have you now. No, what's going on? Is is
Hear
it
me?
is it jumping for everybody as well? Can you guys let me know in the comments? Because I'm seeing that Rania's
I'm so
video is
sorry.
like coming in and
I'm
out.
at home. Yeah, I'm sorry. I
It
hope you
seems to
guys
be.
can hear me.
It seems stable now. It looks
Okay.
okay. Okay, Rania, please let everybody know who you are, where you're from, first and foremost, and then give us your take on what's going on. We'd love to hear from you.
So my name is Rania Dean. Originally Rania Fadel, but it's my maiden name. I'm from Israel originally. I was born there. Then 13 years ago, I moved to Los Angeles. I was involved in public diplomacy back then, and then when I came to Los Angeles, I took like other stuff to take care of, and then October 7th happened, and I went back to public diplomacy. I do lectures. I explain about the Druze community, their connection to Israel, about Israel in general, from a point of view of a minority member. And also, I have my own organization. It's called Covenant, which emphasizes Brit Damim between the Druze and the Israelis here in Los Angeles and California.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I connected with Rania a couple months back under I wish our connection happened under, like you said, happier circumstances, but when push came to shove, like Mansour was saying early on in the show, we same with Khalifa. I also met him when this terrible tragedy was unfolding back in, I believe it was in April, when there was a massive massacre happening against the Jewish people. Rania and I hopped on a live together, specifically in a format about the Caribbean, and we were explaining to Caribbean people about the Druze, about the connection with the Jewish people, about what was going on. And I'm happy to bring you onto my platform now to please explain to whoever may be listening from your perspective what is going on. I'm trying to just platform as many Druze voices as we can in this short stream. So the
Yeah.
floor is all yours, Rania.
Unfortunately, I tried to get contacts from Sweden itself because I have some contacts there, and the contacts just got lost. I hope they are okay and safe. The situation is horrible, and you know what is more sad, Tal, that it's happening again and again, and no one cares. No one cares because I feel that everyone is so dragged into this theory that peace can happen with these terrorists, that they can change their skin and become better people if we pay them some trillions of dollars to build themselves. The fact is that they are following a master plan. And you know what? Even on October 7th, before October 7th, now with the Druze people, with the Alawites, with the Christians, they always say it loud and clear. We just don't want to hear. The West doesn't want to hear that they mean it. When they say it, they mean it. And they are doing it. And they always play, I said it once, they always play this mafia way, like bad cop, good cop. They send people, apparently just, a problem between a few members of the community and another community based on something very silly, and then it escalates, and then these nice HTS people send their security forces to solve the issue. And what happens basically, they come and they take control and they start annihilating the minorities and taking their weapons. This is what they're doing. This is what they did with the Alawites. This is what they did with the Christians. And this is what they are doing with the Druze, not once, not twice. This is the third or fourth time they are doing this. Now, what I know, that the timeline, it started like a few days ago. It started basically with someone called Fadel Dawara. He is just someone who has a truck with some, vegetables, and he sells vegetables. And they came, some Bedouins, and they stole his, products and beat him. Now, the Druze were aware that now HTS and Julani forces are sending these people just to inside the region and
Just
cause
to
cause a
instigate. Yeah.
problem. Yeah, because this is their way. They always do these small problems to come and take control. So they didn't do anything. They sent people to the Bedouin areas to negotiate. Why you do that? Let's just negotiate. The Bedouin kidnapped 16 members of the Druze community. Members of them were elderly and, all the people are religious people. Now, two guys from Sweden said, you know what? We have friends there. We can go and negotiate because we know them. We know them. We learned together. We studied together. So these two, Ayman and another guy from Shti family, they went there and they were kidnapped as well, and they were taken hostages. Now, this what escalates everything. And then the Druze people said, okay, when you do that, we protected you when everyone was against you. A few years ago, you, the Bedouin people, came to our homes and we hosted you because this is how the Druze behave. Whenever you come to their homes, they will protect you no matter what. And the Druze people are people of word. When they give their word, when they give a promise, they have to fulfill it. It's not only with the Druze in Israel, it's also with the Druze in Sweden, in everywhere in the world. So the Druze felt that they are being betrayed. And then it escalated, and suddenly three areas within Sweden that were, there were Bedouins there, there were Bedouins there, started attacking with weapons. Now, these people, the same people that the Druze people had, saved a long time ago, like a few years ago. Now, when that happened, the Druze started to, respond, and again, they say sectarian clashes. They explain all what is happening as sectarian clashes, when the truth is that this is all just an excuse for HTS and the security forces to come and take control. And this is exactly what had happened. HTS and security forces came and took control, but instead of just being, neutral and solve the problem, they took the Bedouin side and started annihilating. They burned villages. They burned a village called Tira after stealing everything. They kidnapped women. There is a woman now been kidnapped. Her name is Rasha. With her father, he is the mayor of one of the villages there. There are other people, around 16 people that are still kidnapped there. They humiliated religious people, shrines. They destroyed shrines, and this is not the first time. They destroyed another shrine a few months ago when they did the other massacre I think not in Sweden, inside Sweden, in Damascus area. So this is a very deliberate, planned way to just put the minorities in a situation that they are surrounded and they can't do anything. Now, the Druze people trusted Israel to help them because Bibi Netanyahu went on every platform, every possible platform, and declared the Druze are a red line. We're gonna protect the Druze, and I have to be. I have no, loyalty to no politicians. I have loyalty to my conscience, and my conscience tells me why you always do the steps late after hundreds of people are being killed. Is it
Yeah.
a strategical plan? I don't want it. If it's a strategical plan, I understand it, but it's humanly refused by me to accept it. I can't see this region been sacrificed for a political plan to join, to fulfill the Abrahamic Accords or to build the David Passage. And everyone here that is familiar with what I'm talking about will understand what I'm talking about. There is this big plan to include Syria within the Abrahamic Accord because without Syria, we can't have the David passage, and we can't have all of this plan to reach Europe. So I'm gonna explain about that in other situation, but in other incident. But the thing is, I can't understand killing civilians and seeing this happening, and the mainstream media, the politicians, on the best case, they are just staying silent. And on the worst case, we are forgiving HTS and giving them, excuse and treating them as legitimate movement or legitimate government. I can't accept that, and I have to talk and speak about that as an American. I don't see how we pay taxes, and these taxes are being used to kill our brothers and sisters, people who are the closest to our values. We are helping people who are terrorists, killing people who are the closest to our values that we protect and defend. So this is this is a horrible situation, Tal. I can't explain
It's
it in
really
words.
bad. I was telling when earlier, like an hour ago, when Mansour was on here. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it in graphic detail again because I think it's important for everybody to
Yeah.
hear. Because I'm assuming there's different people who are here now than were earlier when I was live.
Mm.
Um, the videos that I saw right before I went on the stream. For those of you guys who don't know, in the Druze religion, one of the customs is to grow a mustache out. And just so you understand how similar this ideology is to the same ideology they employed on October 7th, the Hamas did. Just so you understand how very much
Mhm.
similar when Trump is negotiating and shaking hands with Jolani and so is Macron and all these world leaders are legitimizing Jolani. And again, geopolitically, I understand. I don't accept, but I understand. But just so you understand, they are shaking the hands with Sinwar. They're shaking the hands with Hania. They're shaking the hands with Khomeini. They're shaking the hands with Nasrallah. It's the same beast because right now, as they were raiding the Khilwes, which are the religious temples of the Druze, when they finished killing them, and the ones that were still alive bleeding, they weren't shaving their mustaches like last time. The video I saw was somebody taking scissors and physically cutting off the top lip of a human being to remove their mustache and to hold the lip. That's how graphic this was, people. You need to understand this it even in some ways supersedes what we saw on October 7th, the dehumanization, the kicking the dead bodies after you've filled them with bullets and saying khanzir, which calling them a pig, which to them is like the biggest insult possible. They don't see the Druze people as human beings. They don't see them as worth living. They don't see them as worthy of living on the same land as them. And this is something that Rania and I, we refuse it. We outright refuse to be to accept that the Druze can be trampled on in pursuit of world peace. I'm all about the Abraham Accords. I'm the biggest proponent of the Abraham Accords. But how will I, somebody who's proud of the Abraham Accords, how will I be able to sit with you, shake your hand, and say, I'm proud of the Abraham Accords when I know the blood of my Druze brothers and sisters, who are my brothers and sisters, and every Jew needs to understand these are our family? How could I sit there and say, these people were massacred so that we could have peace with Syria, so that I could go eat hummus in Damascus? It's not right. It's not okay. It's not. And you know what? We will not only will we not be able to sleep at night with this, it won't last because a pact like this made on the blood of our own brothers cannot
It's a
last.
shake peace. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a shaky piece. They tried it with Hamas. They nurtured Hamas. Let's talk clearly. Now, I'm not going to hide anything anymore that sometimes you say, okay, I'm not going to speak loud because that might be understood different. But you know what? We tried this with Gaza. It didn't work. The USA tried this with Taliban. It didn't work. Now, all of this is nothing compared to Syria. Syria, if these people take control of Syria, they're going to control our northern border. Imagine a country with airport, with port, with army, with all of these countries supporting it. With this ideology, you need to know it's not only the Druze. Yes, today we are speaking about the Druze. We're focusing with the Druze
correct.
community. It's every minority in Syria, but this is not only this. Recordings from Jolani himself show that he was saying Jerusalem is next. Now, he might be recruited. I'm not saying he might not, but his people are not recruited. You can't recruit all of the people. Now, I'm talking like this. You can say it's conspiracy theory. You can say whatever you want, but I'm putting all things, all possibilities on the table. Let's say he is really can change. Let's say he can change really, or he change or whatever he is. I don't care, but his people, the HTS people, are ISIS people. They have the ISIS ideology, which is the Salafi jihadi ideology. This ideology says that you have to kill everyone, annihilate everyone who is not only not Muslim, but everyone that doesn't follow the Salafi jihadi sect and within the Islam themselves. They allow you to kill them, to enslave them, to rape their women, to kill their elderly. Now, for you mentioned how they now humiliate the religious leaders by, eliminating and annihilating all of their religious symbols, the shrines, the symbols, the physical symbols that show their rank and within the community. But it's not only about that. They have a master plan, and I'm going to repeat it. There is a master plan, and I hear lately, and not only this time, also a few months ago, if time allows me to continue speak.
Please, please, please.
So I heard few journalists who I personally respect, and they are very good journalists in Israel. They said we have no duty to protect the Druze in Syria. Now, if you look at it, yes, Israel basically has no duty to protect the Druze in Syria. They are not Israeli citizens. They don't want to be Israeli citizens. They are so proud of their Syrian identity. Now, let's look at it in a different way. If you give a word to Druze, you have to fulfill it. Israel gave a word to the Druze people. The prime minister gave a word. The defense minister gave a word. You have to fulfill it because this is how the Druze behave. Their culture is culture of word. Even in our religion, the word is holy. The word is a holy thing, it's holy fundamental in our religion. Now, this is one part. The other part, you're not defending the Druze. Don't mistake it. Israel is defending itself by protecting the Druze. We are there. We are not living in Sweden. We are not living in Antarctica. We are living just next door, just few miles from Damascus. Everything that is happening to the Druze at some point, God forbid, is going to happen to us in Israel. And October 7th is just the stark example, and it's just the beginning. It's just the test. They are testing us. You know
Yeah,
that they tested us on October 7th to see what can we do. This is an opportunity for Israel to prove once and forever that we cannot be played once again like we have been on October 7th. Leave the Druze aside. It's our own mission to protect ourselves. So I wonder how respected journalists can really come with this ideology after all the knowledge that they know about these movements and these jihadists. That
Rania,
that was
I'll tell you, I fear that what these jihadists learned on October 7th was that they learned a way to inspire other jihadists by the blood. They're like piranhas, when they see the blood spilling, it's like another one comes and another one comes until it becomes a frenzy, and they get excited and they feed off of the excitement of one another wanting to kill and see blood and do the worst things. And I really fear that October 7th, when they were able to do it to the Yahud, when they were able to do it to the Jews, to Israel, it was really like it was a monumental point of victory for them that they will carry on now forever. And I really fear not that what they're doing right now in Syria to the Druze community is unique in some sense, because they were doing this before October 7th to the Druze and to other minorities for way longer. I mean, they've been doing this for 1,000 years to every ethnic minority in the Middle East. But I really fear that now everything was televised. It was on GoPros. It was on live streams. You and I are seeing what's going on live. I mean, we have a group on WhatsApp now where we're sharing this stuff, and we're seeing it unfold, and it's exactly akin to October 7th. And there's almost like a system now of go in, do the most horrific shit you can do to a minority, publicize it, start spreading fear, start garnering up the other piranhas, the other jihadists who say, Yalla, I want to get in on this. I want to get in on the blood, and continue the bloodshed, continue the bloodbath.
You know, Tal, it's not only, you're totally right, 100%. And I saw something, I noticed something on their social media. They are celebrating this as they celebrated the October 7th. Just for people who don't know the history of the Druze community in Syria, the Druze community in Syria, Sweda, is their own. They own it. It was they were granted this land by their owners back then, and they own this land. They decided to be part of Syria back then because they are a minority. They didn't want to be in the middle between two countries, Israel and Syria, so they decided to join Syria. This land is their own, so they have this pride to protect their land. Now, this is one thing. Second thing, that this is not the first massacre. And it didn't start just now. It started, Julani himself committed few massacres against the Druze community in 2015. They kidnapped 40 women and children. And in Qalblozi, another massacre in a village called Qalblozi. In Idlib, North Idlib, Julani himself forced two villages, one Christian, one Druze, to convert or will be killed. So this mechanism is not new. Now we hoped, or the naive world, let's say, hoped. I did it. I haven't. You don't, I'm sure. But they hope that, okay, now we give him power. Now he is in a position that he wouldn't want to lose. He can gain control and try to behave like a civilized leader. Now we see that he's trying to outsmart them. He does it. He comes, declares in English that he's gonna punish everyone who is doing these massacres and committing these massacres against minorities. But on the other hand, he sends his guys to continue with his plan. So who's playing who here, and who's outsmarting who? We should see the pattern of his behavior and where he wants to which goal he wants to reach. And it's very, very devastating to see that he is reaching his goal: more power, bigger resources to commit his ideology. And the unfortunately, us as Americans and the whole Western world are helping him. Like, I can't believe it. And Tal, one more thing I want to mention about the Druze there. They are not allowed to be interviewed. Like, every journalist that is trying to
Right.
go there, block them. They block their water, the gas, electricity. They destroyed all electricity towers a few weeks ago.
And it
So
was
it's
like
not,
this before, right? Last time also.
yes,
Because we
yeah,
never
yeah,
we
yeah.
never really got
Yes,
we never got reporting last time. We were waiting for it
yeah.
and it never happened. We just had the videos and then they disappeared because they blocked the internet and we never got anything else.
So here I'm calling everyone. We tried to do that also with Iran. I was part of this campaign. If anyone, I don't know who's listening to us now, but if anyone can reach Elon Musk and ask him to give them, I don't know how they call it, this internet from the
Starlink.
satellite, Starlink internet. They need to show what is going on there.
Yeah.
We have to let them have resources. People are collecting lots of donations for them. I'm very honest. I don't know if anything is arriving. I suspect this because I heard so many things from very good sources there, very close to the leadership there, that they are not getting much. So I don't know where all of these donations are going. People need to really be careful when they are helping them. But on the other hand, they need public acknowledgement of their massacre, of their sufferance. And we need the media to just explode every platform with what is going there. Because if the Druze now are not saved, it's gonna be the end. If the Druze survive till now, it's because they are the strongest there. And if the Druze are devastated, defeated, that's it. It's gone. Syria is gone, and our northern border is gone as well.
Let me ask you this, Rania. I already asked Khalifa and I asked Mansour this question. What can we actually do? You have about 250 people who are listening to you now. There will be thousands of people who listen to this live stream after. So imagine you're speaking to a room of thousands of people. What is it that we can actually do right now to actionize these people to make a change, to make a difference?
First, let's start with this. Anything can help. Anything, whether it's a donation or sharing a post or sharing a picture or doing anything, but mainly on the macro level. I'm talking now. We have to enable them to share what is happening. Maybe really, if anyone can reach Elon Musk, and I'm sure someone is listening to us knows someone. If they can reach Elon Musk and ask him to enable Starlink internet for them, they need also to have a, how you say, checkpoint, maybe to Jordan or to Israel, to help them also with food and bread and formula for kids, and everything. They're lacking everything there. And most importantly, Tal, we need to put pressure on decision makers. And I'm starting here with my president, Mr. Donald Trump. I know maybe you mean good things by including everyone in a peace agreement, but this guy called a Sharia, even if you think he can be trusted, his people cannot, and they have this master plan. Now, I'm not here to teach any politician what to do, but I'm here to tell them, look at facts, look at the reality. How can we live with these people? How can we negotiate? How can we make peace with these people? Yes, we want everyone to follow our ideology, which is making peace, making agreements, thriving. We think that everyone wants that. Unfortunately, not everyone wants that. Some people,
Rania,
some
let me ask you
most
this question.
have.
If I'm here on the ground in Israel, I'm available. I'm ready to be actionized, and I have a bunch of young Jewish Zionists who love the Druze like they love their own family, who would be ready tomorrow to go up to the border to help if needed. Do you know of a framework, and especially for the people listening right now, is there something we can actually do, whether it's buying up supplies today and going up tomorrow? Will that help? What can we
Well,
can we do something physically on the ground?
yes, I have a trustworthy group that are collecting medical supplies. We can work with them. I can add you to this group. We are
Please.
collecting mainly. We need donations because we have the supply. Like we need to buy the supplies and move it. Unfortunately, we don't even have a passage, so sometimes we get help from indirect ways. But they need it. If you can help in any way, we can open like a GoFundMe, so everything is clear. I have a foundation. I can help with that. If anyone already have it, let's not make double effort. So just share it with us. We need to have a GoFundMe to help them, but it's more importantly because even if we collect money now, I don't think how can we deliver it. So we need to be more practical and
Yeah.
just demand really internet for now the next few days. We might help them back, after that to recover and rebuild themselves. But for now, we need the internet. It's very important. We need to put pressure on our decision makers in every country, whether you are in France or in Israel or in the USA. Everywhere, just if anyone knows any link to any politician, just share it. Anyone who wants to join our effort, just ask us and we can add you to the group and we can share email addresses. We need everyone to know about the Druze. Some people I speak with them here because I do lectures about the Druze culture and everything. They never heard of the Druze. It's okay. But you know what? You don't need to know the Druze in order to know that what is happening with them now is not right. It's not just. And we need every help. Mainly to let their voice be heard, their story be exposed at this moment is more crucial.
Rania, you and I are gonna coordinate after this stream. I'm gonna finish up because I'm so tired at this point, but we're gonna coordinate and I'm gonna see if we can do something. I even think that something akin to a publicity stunt in addition
Yes.
to an aid convoy or even just a moral convoy where we get a bunch of people who have a lot of followers who are actionized and
Yes.
ready to create content here on the northern border to show the Druze people our solidarity, to show the world, to tag everybody and their mother, every politician we have access to, the Piers Morgans, the Tommy Robinsons, let everybody know
Yes.
that this is unfolding live in front of our eyes and we're here on the border and we demand
Yes.
action from the global community. We're going to coordinate.
Thank you so
I'm going to
much.
text you. I'm going to text you in our group right after this, and we'll start planning something. And for those
And
of you guys who are
anything I can
watching,
from here. Yeah.
and for those of you guys who are watching, keep tabs on Rania, keep tabs on me, keep tabs on Mansour, on Khalifa, everybody that's been on this stream today, so you can keep an update on what's going on. I promise you, this won't be the last time we talk about this. And if we do, and when we do launch a GoFundMe, it'll be on the channel. I'll make sure you guys know. I'll try to make some content piece about it. Rania, thank
Yes.
you so much for
Thank
joining.
you so much.
My heart
Thanks
is with
everyone.
you. And we're
Yes.
gonna coordinate. Okay, we'll talk soon.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you. Bye bye. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. I am. I got food poisoning last week, and I'm probably in the busiest week of my life. I'm so busy, and I'm so tired. I did not have the energy to do this stream, but my head hurts. But I want you guys to understand how important this is to me. I'm not joking. I have a full day of plans tomorrow. If given the opportunity tonight and it's something I can coordinate, I will be on the northern border with Syria tomorrow morning. I'm not joking. If it's something that is possible to coordinate and we can make it happen, and I'm talking something akin to an aid convoy, morality convoy, slash social media convoy that's there to show support, make solidarity, create content, and create a buzz about this, I will be the first one up there, and I'm gonna grab all my very motivated, incredible Jewish and non-Jewish Zionist friends that are here to make it happen. So keep tabs on me, keep tabs on our pages. Please go after this stream and post "Save the Druze" everywhere you can, and let's try to make a difference. I appreciate everybody. I know I missed the super chats. I just wanted to give a platform to the Druze people who are here. Follow Mansour, follow Khalifa, follow Rania, and I will be in touch with you guys very soon. I really appreciate everybody's time and attention being here on the stream. Thank you so much. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.